The next version we'll look at is git diff head. So this will list all changes in our working directory since the last commit, since head, right? Remember, head is this pointer, this reference to the last commit, typically the last commit on a branch. So wherever head is, when we do git diff head, we'll see the changes that we've made since head. So that includes, if we try this again here, git diff head, that includes staged and unstaged changes. So right now, we see the same exact output that we saw when I just did regular git diff. This is showing all unstaged changes. This is showing everything that has changed since our last commit, since head. However, if I stage something, if I do git add, and then our file is called colors.txt. If I do git diff again, now we don't see any changes, right? Nothing is showing up because this is supposed to show me the difference between my working directory and the staging area. And right now they're the same. But if I do git diff head, this is showing me the difference between the head and my working directory. So now we see the same thing we were seeing earlier. So now let's go ahead and commit. So git commit -m, just add indigo. And then I'm going to do something different now. I'm going to make, what should I do? I guess I'll make a new file. And this new file will be called, it doesn't really matter, but it will be numbers. All right, so touch numbers.txt. And in this numbers file, I'm just going to add the number 1 to begin with. So I'll just spell it out in all caps, 1. Okay, so currently numbers is untracked. So if I try and do git diff, we're not going to see anything there. However, if I add that new change, so git add numbers.txt, now if I do git diff head, we see that since our last commit, we have some new stuff, right? And it's just the fact that numbers.txt now exists and it has this line 1 inside of it. The way that we can tell that there was nothing there before, the version A is actually dev/null. That's Git's way of telling us nothing compared to now having the file numbers. So there was nothing really to compare it before, but that doesn't break it. We just end up seeing only the additions because there only are additions. Okay, so git diff head shows us that, but just one more time, git diff on its own is only showing us unstaged changes. Nothing has been, nothing is currently unstaged. But if I add violet, for example, to colors, and I do git diff, we only see a diff for colors because that's the only file that changed that has not been staged, versus git diff head. If I just remind you here, numbers is staged, colors is not. So if I do git diff head, I see all changes staged, unstaged, it doesn't matter. Anything new in the working directory since head, right? And head, if you ever forget, and head currently is pointing to this commit here. So that's what we are comparing to. So git diff shows us all unstaged changes. Git diff head shows us all changes staged and unstaged since head.